All right, y'all. I'm dealing with burnout right now, and I'm sure you are too, and you're not alone. So, in this video, we're going to have a no bullshit conversation about this, and I'm going to share 3 things plus a bonus at the end that I am working on right now to get out of this slump. One thing with the burnout, I gotta be real, like sometimes simple decisions are tiring me out. Like what to eat for dinner, what to wear. I mean, the what to eat, right? I think all of us that are married, that's like the story of our life is you ask your spouse, like, what do you want to eat to dinner? And they're like, hey, I don't know. What do you want? Right. And something that simple, like figuring out what to eat, what to wear, those are simple decisions, but they can still wear you out. And let me share one thing that I've been trying, and I've been doing this actually for a while, and I found that it works well, is that I try to plan and make those decisions, like especially what to wear, the night before. So a lot of times, my laundry is just right off of my bathroom. When I get ready to go to bed, and I go down for the nightly shower, because that's part of my evening routine. Tangent, right? I will pick out the clothes I'm going to wear for the next day. Like even if I'm going to be going to the gym, like I know I'm going to go for a run, I will pick those clothes out, have them laid out so that the next day that decision's there. I know that's like a low tax decision and I saved it for the night before, right before I went to bed to rest up. And I've instantly saved myself some decision fatigue up front. So I can save the energy I need for bigger decisions for the work day, the early afternoon, those times where it's more imperative for me to be able to have the energy to make a big decision. And there was even a study in 2018 that backed this up. I'm going to butcher the guy's name. His name was like Pigmatello. Anyway, if I can find it, I'll put a link. So another leading cause of burnout is just general physical fatigue. There are tons and tons of studies out there. Like, I don't think I'm not going to reference like a specific one here. Just go and Google it. Shit, there's a lot of it on YouTube. Like, I think every freaking fitness guru, I know Huberman's probably done some videos on it as well. But that brings us to recovery. Recovery is huge. And I alluded to like the decision fatigue thing that I set my clothes out every night before I go to bed to help with decision fatigue. And that's part of a nightly routine. And like I know that I have to start my nightly routine by a certain time at night. Like I have to give myself a solid hour or more to start this, especially like showering. For me, if I try to shower 15, 20 minutes before bed, I'm not sleeping. And I would encourage you, like I say with me, it's usually I start about an hour, hour and a half before. I, take my shower, I set my clothes out. Again, saving that decision fatigue and setting the foundation for the next day. Sit down, talk with the wifey, maybe watch a little TV, something funny, and, go to bed and make sure I'm lights out by a given time every night. So my body knows once it hits that time, it's quitting time. But anyway, nightly routine, recovery, we need to focus on that. I'll even say, like, I've been trying to slow down too in my life and make it okay to stop because I don't flip and stop. But we need to prioritize our recovery and something I'm trying to do. Anyway, let's move on to the next point. I've rambled enough about recovery. All right, y'all. I know I'm just wandering back and forth through my basement, but let's talk about the third thing. And I know for me, like, especially, like when you get in, so I've been talking about like the death scroll and you can't get moving and like the walls close in on you. And a lot of times what we need is just a reset. So, as I was mentioning with recovery, I've been trying to force myself and do a conscious stop and say, okay, I'm going to consciously stop. I'm going to do something to break really quick to get myself moving, which is weird. Like, the whole thing when you can't move to get yourself moving, and it's just this vicious flipping cycle. But with the reset, try doing something that is kind of like off in left field a little bit. So you could say, like, okay, I need to get moving to go do this, this, or this. But maybe what you'll say is like, oh, hey, look, the end table over there. There's some soda cans or something. I'll just go throw them in the garbage really quick. And I know that's stupid as shit, but that can help. I've been doing that quite a bit lately in my house. Like, I'll see something like that, but then like I'm up and I'm going, and then I find myself like having a little reset of focus and getting back onto the high value tasks that I couldn't get myself going to do. And that's one thing, like I say, it's working for me. It helps like in those little like jolts. I know, sorry, the camera, trying to illustrate it, but it helps. I know it's stupid, but sometimes those little stupid things are what we need. So like I mentioned, I have a bonus tip for you guys. And this one, like I'm going to prep you, is honestly probably the hardest thing out of these to deal with. So let's talk about it. Okay, so the bonus. I mentioned this is probably the most difficult one, but I think it's worthwhile. And I personally just started this one. And it's going and getting professional help, y'all. Going and seeing a therapist. This is difficult. And I had a hard time because, I'm going to level with you guys. I didn't see myself like needing it. Like, I have my struggles like everybody else, but I was raised in a great home. I would even argue spoiled at times. And now I'm not talking just monetarily, but like mentally, emotionally. But I can tell you, like, I'm lacking some tools. Like these 3 things I mentioned before, they are helping, but long term, I need some better freaking tools. Like I need those Milwaukee M18 fuels for my burnout and my psyche. And, I'm only a session or 2 in, y'all, but I feel a lot better. I feel less alone. I feel like there's hope that I'm going to get the fuck out of this rut. Pardon my language. But like it helps, and it's a hard pill to swallow, especially saying like I need help. Like we as men, we're supposed to be providers and strong for our families and our friends, our coworkers, but sometimes you need extra tools, you need an extra hand to have that strength. And so that's my bonus. Like, go find it. A lot of employers have benefits. They might be kind of shitty. Like, they might only like give you a few sessions, but it's worth the investment, right? Like with personal development, we always say the best investment's in yourself. And going to therapy is one of those things, man. Like, so that's my bonus there is if the other things aren't working, go speak to a professional. Thanks for sticking around with me. Now, keep in mind, I'm not giving this advice or these tips as a guru. I am not a guru when it comes to burnout. I'm like y'all. I'm struggling with this shit just like you are. And, the promise I can tell you is like, I'm in it with you. We aren't alone. It doesn't mean that we're less of a person, that we're lacking, that there's something wrong with us. It just means that we need some additional tools. We need some tips. We need, like I said, even sometimes professional help. But employing things like this can make it better. It can make sure we're reaching the potential that we're supposed to reach. And understanding it's just like everything. There is such thing as fatigue. We need our recovery. We need our resets. We need those tools. So with that, y'all, I'm going to bring it to a close. Now, if you found this valuable, I recommend you check out the video that's up here in this corner. It was selected specifically for you based upon what the algorithms know that you're going to like and have watched. And with that, y'all, just remember, better every day.